Hello everyone and welcome into the channel. My name is Brent and in today's video we're going to go ahead and go over handling a layoff, the lessons that I learned, and some financial tips I'd like to share with you guys in case this is something that is happened to you recently or could potentially be happening to you in the near future. You never know, so it is good to be financially prepared, which we'll go ahead and cover in this video. If you guys are brand new here to the channel, my name is Brent with Investing on the Go. If you guys are not yet subscribed, definitely go down below and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if it is content that you enjoy. You guys can also hit the bell to be notified every time I release a brand new video. And I currently have a goal of to hit 6,000 subscribers. So again, if you're not yet subscribed, definitely do it, right? So in this video, we're going to go ahead and hit up 5 different areas. Number 1, we'll go ahead and cover my recent layoff experience, talk about some of my W2 experience as far as like career experience, right? Number 2, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the financial preparations that I took. Number 3, the immediate steps the immediate steps taken when I found out. Number 4, the career and business outlooks looking forward over the next short term, like month to 6 months to a year. And then number 5, some advice and takeaways from going through the process. So let's go ahead and start off with number 1, my layoff experience. So what exactly happened? My role was eliminated due to restructuring. This has happened in the past with the job that I was at, other departments, our department, that was restructuring. There's different roles that you're in, and if that role is not going to be refitted for the year, then that role kind of goes away. So I was told, hey, your role, obviously, my back kind of history is in 2004. I went into the military, joined as an IT kind of guy. I was a telecommunications maintenance operator. Then I transitioned to an information technology specialist. Got out in 2013, continued growing my IT career, doing help desk related stuff, and then went to a systems engineer, and then transitioned from a systems engineer, which is very broad, to be very focused as a IT network guy, working with Cisco, Aruba, Palo Alto, any other sort of network devices that touched and work with the network, right? So it became very focused. And due to the restructuring, that position wasn't needed. I could and did have the option to apply for other internal roles, but there would be nothing guaranteed. So when I was taking a look at other internal positions, nothing really shot out to me saying, hey, you should apply towards this. So I didn't apply towards anything. At first, how did I feel? I was a bit surprised at first, kind of nervous, but I quickly shifted into taking action. As far as like me seeing it coming, no, I didn't see it, the layoff coming on. As far as restructures go in the business, restructures happen all the time. One day your position is there in long term, the next it's, hey, your position is no longer needed. It goes really quickly. So the immediate actions that I had was I was told of an end date for the role. So I didn't get laid off right away. I did have a little bit of leeway there to kind of set things in motion, right? So I took the rest of the day off, went home and kind of talked about it with the wifey, letting her know, hey, my position is going to be ending on this specific day. I'm going to go ahead and get a plan of action going to kind of see where we are at. So as far as financial preparations go, was I financially prepared for the transition? Yes. The short answer is yes. I have savings, I have stocks and investments, and I have real estate. Savings is with SoFi, Wealthfront, different forms of savings, either for personal or for my business side stocks. I have my retirement accounts, which were really funded well over and up until like 2022. And then as of 2022, I really transitioned my stocks from being retirement focused into Roth IRAs. They're great investment vehicles, but Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, they can only be accessed to capital in them without penalty or taxes, right? At 50 and a half. And I'm 20 years away from me. I don't want to wait another 20 years, have access to that capital to use it for early retirement. So I was really funding my taxable account really heavily over the last few years. And the stock market has done really well, kind of pushing that really positively. Real estate business has done really well as well. Properties have 2x, 3x since purchases them. Rental has also increased, thousands in the time period that I've owned it. So everything financially was already kind of well in stone. What W2 income provided was stability. I wasn't an hourly. I was a, what is it like? You get the site, you get the same every on a week or like 2 week periods. It is a, I'll think of it in a minute, right? But every 2 weeks, I would get paid exactly the same. Regardless if I work 30 to 35 hours in a week, if I worked 40, if I worked 50, if I worked 60 hours in a week because I traveled or worked on call, right, in the IT field. Salary. There we go. Salary is the word. And it just provided that stability as well as healthcare and dental benefits. So, after the loss of the W 2 income, the biggest financial challenge was finding affordable healthcare and dental options. I did look at different options within dentalplans.com and healthcare.gov. If you guys have other recommendations, definitely drop me down in the comment section below. If anybody out there is like a sole proprietorship, like run something as themselves, what are different dental plans, healthcare plans that you guys use as well? That would be kind of nice to check out. And I kind of refocused my mindset after during the financial preparations, right? I went ahead, printed off, or yeah, at least like on my computer, took the last 3 or so months of our income, our expenses, our spending, taking a look at where we were spending heavily at, or what was going on with the utilities, right? What kind of utilities we were spending on a monthly basis. I did reallocate some savings into investment income. So, I could have like 6 months or so in savings that I didn't need at Wealthfront. I had extra amount of savings that I had at SoFi for my real estate stuff that I didn't really need all that savings kind of sitting there at Wealthfront offers like a 4% APY. There was other means of investments that I could invest into that I could generate income that I could use in the short term. So, for example, I transitioned my stuff investments into SPYI. That in itself was able to produce me roughly $3,000 of dividends on a monthly basis. And because it is investment income, it's going to be taxed as 60% long term, 40% short term. And I don't have any W 2 income to bump me into another category, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. But here in the short term, I feel like that's probably the best course of action. That $3,000 provides me with stability that I know is going to be generated, whereas real estate, it produces a good sizable amount, but it's not as consistent. There's maintenance, there's repairs, there's different expenses that could take place. So on a monthly basis, I could make $4,000 of revenue, but after paying off mortgages, after repairing a tree that fell and broke the roof, or having to shovel snow out of the area, I could be left with $500 or $1,000 of that bucket, right? So that wasn't as stable. I do have other means of income as well from affiliates, referrals, and other things, right? So the investment that SPYI just kind of provided that stability and didn't have me relying on other things, right? So immediate steps that we're taking, my first financial move was I reviewed all my bank accounts, my savings, my investments. Instead of keeping 6 months of cash in my checking account, I went ahead and kind of moved it down a bit. I keep about 1 to 2 months in my real estate business side, just for whatever could take place within the real estate business. And then I also keep 1 to 2 months of cash in my own checking account just to kind of cover my own personal expenses on a month to month basis. And then I looked at income producing assets, things that I could acquire or buy that could produce income by investing in it. I cut any sort of expenses here in the short term? Not drastically. The main thing that we did here as a family is we reevaluated some of the needs and wants. Instead of buying things that we may want here in the short term, we'll budget for it and kind of plan it out, such as like a vacation that I wouldn't be able to do if I had my W2 job, right? If I had my W2 job, I'd have to take PTO versus now we just have to kind of budget for it. right? I don't know. I did apply for unemployment. One of the big things when going to be laid off was when I talked to the HR, going through like my final meeting with them, the thing that they were going to have me sign, I had to review it and have them change some of the wording because the wording said that I was quitting the position. And if you quit the position and then look for unemployment, that's a lot different than, hey, your role expired and because of that, you are being let go. So I had them redo the wording on the document before I signed it, and then I was able to apply for unemployment. So if you guys are doing sort of an exit with your HR, make sure you read the fine print and make sure that it's going to be working in your favor. The unemployment area also has like a C program, which is the self-employment assistance program. These both have different things you have to do to get them. Unemployment, you have to be actively looking for work, doing multiple things in a week to work towards actively looking for work, such as like updating your resume, doing cover letters, talking, calling the people that you've applied with. The self-employment assistance program, they have you do, you don't have you do applying for different positions and doing the active 5 things that you have to actively do, but they have you track your income, your expenses for your business, what you're kind of working on there. So there's different things you have to kind of track. If you guys are interested in them, there's a lot of information out there. I don't have anything specific for them. Career in business outlook. Did this change my career direction? So I have been heavily in the IT field for the last 20 years. I went going to go ahead and kind of use my IT experience and kind of that kind of side to use AI and different tools that I've kind of learned along the way and kind of lean into my YouTube and blog passion a bit, producing more content between my financial channel, my gaming channel, trying to create 2 to 3 videos a week on my financial side. I'd like to continue streaming on my gaming side and my blog. I've been trying to produce a article every day and upload it either, along the way, which has been really well. I think I've actively uploaded 31 consecutive posts throughout March. So March was my official full month out, being laid off. I got laid off end of February, so March I had that full month to kind of come up with a game plan. They, get a schedule going of when I want to wake up, what I want to work on, what I want to focus on, take my breaks, and do all that. So I became really focused on the entrepreneurship side. I'm still exploring other incomes beyond W 2 jobs. So things that I could do related to my YouTube side and blog side, either by creating different digital products or digital services and working with other individuals as I had in the past. YouTube in the past did generate roughly $500 to $1,000 before. Now I'm demonetized. Uh, I'm not monetized. I didn't get demonetized because of anything negative. It's just that I didn't post any content for nearly 2 years and the channel didn't get the views, right? So I got demonetized. Now I'm kind of working towards building that back up. My blog had been active for really heavily, like 2020 to 2022. I actually saw the views very nice, and I was monetized during that time with Ezoic. But in the last few years, similar to my YouTube channel, it became unmonetized. So instead of generating anywhere from a couple $100s with my blog and a couple $100s with my YouTube channel, that was a couple $1,000s there in affiliates. That be kind of dropped off. So I'm looking to rebuild these back up as a focus and then kind of consider shifting potentially like into like a financial career. But when looking at different options, if I were to kind of swap to something financial related, depending on what it is, it could greatly, obviously I don't have any sort of W 2 job right now. So the income factor isn't a big thing. But if I were to say swap from something, in IT field right now, where it could pay me anywhere from like $60,000 to $100,000, shifting to something financial that I've seen could pay between like $30,000 to $40,000. So it'd be a big shift change there. There are other financial roles that I've seen that could just take like a certification and some training, just as like a real estate agent, a financial advisor, analyst, financial planner, right? These you take the Series 65, and there's a couple other certifications you can take to get into these roles. but I haven't really applied and heavily looked into them. As short term, I'm still kind of focusing on my YouTube and kind of blog side, the short term things, I guess, or here in the short term. Some of the advice and takeaways that I would have for other individuals, right? So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the biggest financial mistakes any individual takes before getting a layoff is they're having no savings, right? That's a big thing for a lot of individuals. They say that I forgot what the percentage was of Americans don't have $1,000 saved in their savings account. That's a big deal. Living paycheck to paycheck, even though you have very low expenses, I know a lot of individuals out there who still live paycheck to paycheck. In the military, we'll go back to that, but in the military, right, we're going back to the past. My expenses were very little. We had our healthcare, our housing, our food, everything was covered. The only expenses that I had while active was my cell phone and my internet. Essentially, everything else was paid for, but a lot of soldiers live paycheck to paycheck. They bought fancy cars, they bought fancy jewelry, they went out, they paid, and they just spent all their money on a month to month basis. So paycheck to paycheck is a big thing, not only for those that have little expenses, but for those that have big expenses, I guess. So not having like a side income at all, no side income. There's tons of opportunities out there in today's day and age to have some sort of side income, whether it's just a few hundred, a few couple, 10, $20 at a time, but you could also grow it into be several hundreds or $1,000s, right? And then also carrying too much debt. Credit card debt is a big thing in today's current year. Everyone's kind of lining their credit cards up with debt and debt and debt, and those interest rates tear any sort of investments that you would take in the market or otherwise. So, top 3 things you should prepare for if in any event, right? Start some sort of side hustle, either YouTube, a blog, a side business, either digital products, so physical products. Also, build an emergency fund. SoFi, Ally, Wealthfront. I really enjoy SoFi, right? I use them often for a ton of stuff. Wealthfront is more of like a inactive savings account versus SoFi is very active. You direct deposit money to your checking account, move it into your savings account right away. You get that 3.8% APY, plus you get up to $325 of sign-up bonuses when checking them out. I do have links down below. Also, if you have high interest debt on credit cards or any other like student loans, you can consolidate debt. Another one to kind of point out was SoFi. And kind of career lessons that I learned was kind of keep hobbies and career interests private. Mostly hobbies and career interests, right? In at my work, I was always kind of talk about stocks, real estate with coworkers. And when I was exiting, a lot of my coworkers came up to me and said, "Hey, you know, you should check out the financial field, do the financial field." I think I had like 3 or 4 people talk to me saying, "Hey, have you ever considered going into career financial field?" And having 20 years in the network field already, in the IT field, having kind of built up that side, it felt really weird at the time. So I feel like kind of keeping my hobbies and career interests a bit more private going forward would be well off. So the kind of the final engagement stuff. So I guess that can kind of be like the conclusion or the challenge to anybody. If you'd like to drop it down in the comment section below. Have you ever been laid off? How did you handle it? Was it positive? Was it a negative experience? What has been your biggest financial safety net? For me, it was definitely my W-2 job. If you had to switch careers today, where would you go? Would you be happy staying in the career that you're currently at, or would you want to swap careers to something else? Let me know down in the comment section down below. I would really appreciate it. With that said, I'd like to thank everyone out there for hanging out, checking out this video. If you stayed until the end, definitely let me know down in the comment section down below. Hey, I stayed till the end, and definitely subscribe for more financial tips along the way. Hit the bell to be notified every time I release a brand new video. But I do believe that is going to be it. If you guys haven't checked out my website, it is Investing on the Go. I'm trying to release a different article every single day, talking about some of the basics. First, talking about budgeting, net worth, income, net worth versus liquid net worth. They're different things, right? I'll probably make a video on liquid net worth as liquid net worth is more valuable than the overall net worth, right? Because you can't really physically use your total net worth. So it's kind of an interesting topic there. So let me know down in the comment section below if you guys have any interests of specific topics you'd like to have discussed here on the channel. Otherwise, that is going to be it from me. I do appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.